Hello, hello, everybody. I don't know what time zone you're watching from, but for me, it's somewhat in the morning. So, good morning, almost afternoon. I'm Emily. I do DevRel for Linea. I have a really great guest today. So, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Hi, Emily. Good to be here. I'm Igor, co-founder of Onthis. We provide no-code tools for building on-chain, and our mission, which we'll expand on later today, is to empower on-chain users to become builders.
Yeah, I mean, so I guess let's just kind of dive into the details and expand about that. Like, what exactly is on this, right? Um, how does it work? Like, what is the user experience like versus the dev experience?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the intention is to have the experience very seamless for the end user. In other words, you're selecting from drop downs, entering inputs, whether you're pasting token addresses or selecting chains or destination chains. And the end result is you can deploy contracts with a few clicks. And that's kind of the ultimate goal is um, to give people the opportunity who don't have deep dev experience or coding skills to create, to deploy useful contracts that they can use themselves, that they can share with friends. And just to put things into perspective, there are roughly 200,000 Solidity devs across the entire world. I mean, likely that number is smaller for those that are actually building stuff or working for teams. And there are, arguably close to 100 million on-chain users that are traversing every ecosystem, trying different things, being creative, and those people always are looking for ways to improve, learn something new, create and give back to their communities. And we think that the no code tools approach can pave that path for those people and help them deploy useful things that they themselves can use or they can share with their communities.
Awesome. Cool. So I actually want to take a step back probably even further. So I think my question was pointed more so at for somebody who doesn't even know what on this does, right? Like I guess to
Mhm.
kind of hint at it, right? On this is a shortcut, but like what even is a shortcut?
Right. Um, so that's a great question. So, like, what contracts are you deploying? Like, what can they do, and why are they important? So the contracts that you can deploy, as one example that we like to use is, um, uh, for example, let's say you wanted to bridge to Linea, and this we already did this. It was already created and signed to an ENS. But let's say you wanted to bridge to Linea, you can deploy your own bridge contract, and by sending ETH to that contract, it can automatically bridge your ETH from, let's say, mainnet to Linea. Um, and the the flow, the user flow, once a contract has been deployed via any of our no-code tools, is that you can send ETH to that contract, and it does several actions for the end user. So you can think of it as an easy way to combine multiple on-chain actions to get multiple things done for the end user. And we like to use the bridge example as the simplest one, but to take it one step further, if let's say that you're a user that is on Ethereum mainnet and you want to buy um, Foxy token on Linea, so the typical user flow would be that you would take your ETH from mainnet, go to a bridging site, bridge your ETH, then you would go to a DEX, take it with that Linea ETH and swap it into the Foxy token. That's an example of the traditional route. With one of our bridge and swap contracts that you can deploy, you combine those actions together. Our no code tool allows you to deploy the contract. And anytime you send ETH to that newly deployed contract, it does all those steps I just mentioned for you automatically. So you send ETH to a contract, it auto bridges to Linea, goes to a DEX, swaps it for Foxy, and the Foxy token gets returned to the sender back in their wallet. So you never have to leave your wallet. You just send ETH, and it does multiple actions for you. Maybe that was a long-winded explanation of how the contract
Yeah.
works, but ultimately, you can do multiple things with one action.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't have it pulled up, no worries, but, like, on this, I think really hits home when we have sort of a visual example. If there's a way you can kind of show us what the user experience looks like from, like,
Absolutely.
just using, I guess, on this versus building it.
Yes. So using a contract, um,
Or
certainly.
using a
Yeah.
shortcut specifically, right? Yeah.
So let's hold on, pull up my screen here. Let's see. Can you see my screen? Can you see the?
No.
Oh, whoops! I didn't click it yet. I can't see it because I didn't click share my screen yet. So this is. Can you see my wallet pulled on
Yes.
MetaMask? Okay, perfect. So turn to this one. Um, okay, so I'm going to go to onthis.xyz. This is the landing
Mhm.
page that most people will see. And if you're ready to build, you could click build. But for now, let's click discover and see, what contracts are available. As you mentioned, shortcuts, contracts, and we could pick one and use it. Um, so this is where you'll see, multiple contracts that were launched, whether it's a token that was launched via our tools, uh, bundles, which is allowing people to buy multiple tokens at once. Bridge+Swap is what we spoke about, which allows people to bridge to another network and swap into a token. Let's just pick one as an example. And let's see what this one does. Whoops. Okay, so this is the MFR token. Um, for this just sake of simplicity, I could find a Linea one where there were a few created, but I just want to make sure that we don't run out of time. But so this is somebody created this a bridge and swap contract, which goes from ETH mainnet to base. So all we have to do is copy the address, and we go to our wallet, and from mainnet we can send. Hopefully, I have enough ETH for gas. 0.01, a very small amount. So what I did was all I did was I copied the contract here, which bridges from mainnet to base and buys the MFR token. And so now the contract's pending, but once it's, so let me just copy the MFR contract address so I could show you in my MetaMask that it appeared. So let me import 1 second. I copied the wrong one. Copy. Is okay. Oh, it's already there. So just to go back for a second and just review what I just did. So we were on Ethereum mainnet in our MetaMask. Anyone could go to the Discover page, which takes you to a list of all the available things that you can do via on this. In this example, we did a bridge and swap transaction, which bridges your ETH to another chain. In this case, Base, but we could go over a few Linea examples. And I believe we did this one here, which which is the MFR token. And all we do is we just copy the address, go into our MetaMask, and send it. And what it does is bridges the ETH over to base and then swaps into MFR on the DEX on the best available liquidity. And as you can see, it automatically, within like probably 30 seconds, it appears. And we use a cross under the hood for the bridging.
Awesome.
So that was a
So I
live
guess
example.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I guess to kind of re-explain everything that just happened, right? What on this does is provide a way for people to create complex actions, especially when they're cross-chain, which are kind of one of the most complex, I think, transactions for new users. Um, to do it in one click, right, directly from your wallet. Um, I
correct.
think I have a few follow-up questions, right? Is the Destinate is the I guess can we do like L2 to L2 or is it only mainnet to L2 right now?
Great, great question. So you can do L2 to L2, and you can do from base to Linea, from Linea to base. There's a couple Linea contracts that are deployed. So yeah, you could do a number of different combinations, and we've seen pretty much all of them already deployed. Um,
Awesome.
and
Cool.
yeah,
And then I guess another follow-up question. So we've done this one actually with Linea, right? Specifically just bridging onto Linea from ETH mainnet to Linea. So it was I
yes,
think if you send ETH to onlinea.eth, it'll just bridge it over, right? And I guess
yeah,
the reason you can do that is because you created this shortcut through on this, you have this contract address, and then you bought an ENS for that contract. Like, how did that work?
yeah. The onlinea.eth top level domain is owned by Linea and managed by their security council and multisig. And we deploy the contract on this deploy the contract that does the bridging in the background. And it became very easy for Linea to just assign the newly created contract to their own ENS name, which in this case is onlinea.eth. And all the user ever has to do, if they ever want to get ETH over to Linea, is type in onlinea.eth in their MetaMask. And you can see that because the wallet resolves ENS names, it automatically recognizes it and shows you the contract right away that's associated with the ENS name. So once
Cool.
again, the user just types in onlinea.eth and sends whatever amount,
Yeah. And then I
send
guess also
0.001.
follow-up questions for users protecting themselves, devs like demonstrating that they're building something reputable, right? How do the people know whether like what's being bundled is not malicious? Um, like ENS names can change underneath them. How do we kind of make use on this safely?
Yeah, that's a great question. The so one of the big ways that that's going to happen is where uh, I think did I do this with you before, where I had to alpha drop just because of the question.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, no, I mean, okay, feel free to just
no. This is great because it's complete. It's complete, and we definitely want to announce it. And so we're officially live in the Snap Store. I don't think we linked it on our site, but it's we have a forward slash, which is on this forward slash snap. Um, Actually, I could probably go back to sharing my screen,
Oh, I feel
but
so bad.
no, you're. This is great. I mean, what's the point of alpha dropping if it's not by surprise?
Yeah, 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 that's true.
Um, so I'm sharing my entire screen. Do you see it? Okay.
Yeah.
Um, So on this.xyz forward slash snap, which will make more public and available on their site, as well as announce it on their Twitter or X. But basically, to answer your question, is how do you know, what's going on in the background when you're pasting in a contract address or the ENS name? The best way that we decided to deal with this is to build a snap where you can see more details and insights on any contract that's been deployed using on this. And you'll see a detailed breakdown of the transaction, what's happening. Um, so that will give you the confidence to and the peace of mind
Mm.
to transact with these contracts.
Okay, very cool. This is exciting. I'm glad that you've been able to leverage MetaMask snaps for insights. Yeah, I mean, because security is definitely always top of mind. Remind me, we need to stop at the half hour, right? So I think I asked too many questions. I want to hop directly into, what it looks like to actually build um a shortcut. Um,
Mhm. Yeah. So while I'm still sharing my screen, one of the exciting things that we're doing now, and for anyone who's listening, if you've been an on-chain user and you've been looking to get into building or developing, and that's of interest to you, I think great opportunities to check out our builder program, where we teach you how to deploy your own contracts using our no-code tools. We make it pretty easy, and you have a community of builders that are going through the same process and learning alongside you, so they could help you kind of grow within a community setting. The easiest way to do this is just to go to this site, and I don't know if we could share it somewhere, Emily, but uh, we could just it's in our docs. It's the link that's called "Become a Builder." Hopefully, we could share this link somewhere. Um, but you fill out a type form, join our Telegram, and you join our 30 plus members now currently, building and using our tools to better serve their own communities. In your case, it would be Linea. Um, and uh, our entire team is in that chat actively helping people. So this would be a really, really great opportunity for most people that are looking to get into building but don't know where to start.
Awesome. Cool. Can you give us like a sneak peek, I guess, of like actually creating your own shortcut, if that makes sense? Can you
Absolutely.
do that
Yeah.
without
Well,
being a builder in the builder's kind of program?
yeah, absolutely you can. And most people have without, we just announced a builder program a few days ago. Um, so can you see my full screen again?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're back on this.xyz, except now, instead of using the contracts that are deployed by on this, which is through the discover link, we want to build one ourselves. So we would click build, and here, you connect your wallet. Let's see, boom, some small amount of ETH, so I'll be able to deploy. Now you select which tool you want to use. We have the Bridge+Swap, which I just displayed. I think I'll use that one as an example. Um, and we have two others, Token Bundles and Token Launcher. Once again, if you want to explore more, you could uh, join our community via builders or follow us on Twitter. But for now, let me just walk you through the Bridge+Swap, which is what we just used. So you click create. Um, and by the way, you still see my screen, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Cool. So you select the origin chain. So Emily, which origin chain would you like to select?
I don't know. I feel like this is me being well, just pick the
Well,
top
let's
one.
get
Yeah, base,
the
sure.
top. Okay, let's
Or
get some assets off of base and bring them to Linea. So we select the origin chain and the destination chain of Linea,
right.
and then you select an input token. So one of the ways that I do it is I just go to Dex Screener and just look at the available tokens based on L2. In this
Mhm.
case, let's look at Linea. A popular one is Foxy. Um, so here's Foxy. So I just copied the token address of Foxy. I go back to our equator tool, paste in the token address of Foxy, which lives on Linea. automatically finds the best and most liquid pool. 3
Oh,
million of
nice.
liquidity. Uh, o- and then if you want to actually click out on the contract, you could do so by clicking on the pool. But so once again, you just select the origin chain, select the destination chain, paste in the token address. It automatically finds the best liquidity pool. You click continue and confirm. And depending on your network connection, take 30 seconds.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
No, this is super cool. I guess also kind of other questions that this kind of makes me think about, right? Um, I love that this is so simple, right? I think the other piece though is like as a developer building shortcuts, how do I differentiate myself? Alternatively, it's like, is the
mhm.
best use case actually for someone who's building something else already and then using on this as like a UX improvement for their existing product?
Yeah. So what we've seen so far and kind of what we envision for the future is that um, y- teams that, for example, either are looking to launch their own token or perhaps onboard more users that own their token. A lot of times, the route to do that is pretty complex, especially if you're an L2. So what these contracts that you can deploy with on this, the bridge and swap contracts, what they help those teams do is make the UX, as you said, simpler for somebody to get onboarded. So as an example, just to stick with Foxy, for instance, it lives on Linea. So as the team of Foxy would want to basically build a bridge and swap contract from every different L2 and create their own perhaps UI using our contracts in the background. So this is kind of like the middleware layer that
Mm,
improves the UX for projects looking to onboard users onto their token, or perhaps um, enhance the user experience uh, for for themselves as like somebody who doesn't action often. For example,
yeah.
let's say Emily likes to buy Foxy token on the weekends every Saturday because that's just what she does. um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I've
if
been
you have
caught.
to do that over and over again, um, but yeah, so any kind of repetition or any onboarding is a good use case of these contracts.
Okay,
Um,
that's super cool. Yeah. I guess this is a little bit like a way simpler, better version of snaps, I guess, kind of like on this as an enhancement to a project um versus like independently building shortcuts as your like I guess I'm trying to take this from like an entrepreneurial standpoint. Like it would be less common to just build a shortcut and try to like sell something off that, but probably more common to use this as a strategy to just enhance existing projects. Um,
Yeah, yeah, it's been used by new projects that um, might be resource limited. They want to like build quick on ramping for their token,
yeah.
so they'll use bridge and swap contracts. Um, I mean, we've also seen just people like I mentioned before, like they do this action themselves, and they just want like
Mm,
a contract that they can use and trust. Um,
yeah.
and the reason that's important is because when you're going from different ecosystems from L2 to L2 and you're traversing different UIs, there's a danger lurking there is that's phishing, which
Yeah, yeah,
even
no,
some of the most
that's a really good point. Yeah,
and they
absolutely.
just want to confidently be able to send ETH to a known contract that does a known function for them all the time, which is bridging and swapping with a particular token.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. Yeah,
uh,
that's Oh, sorry, I'm interrupting you.
no, no, you're good. I know we're coming up on time, but
Yeah.
yeah, hopefully
Okay, if
that
I can
sums
ask
it up.
you one last question, can you just like briefly touch on Bundler? Um, like as a use
Oh
case?
yeah, Yeah, so bundler as a use case is let me just go to bundler. So you can click on token bundles, and here it's kind of the same process, except when you input the token, it's going to allow you to input multiple token addresses. And what happens is once you deploy the contract, when you send ETH to the newly deployed token bundler contract, it buys multiple tokens at once. You buy 2 tokens, three
Mm,
tokens, 5 tokens, whatever, however many tokens you want to paste in. Why is that interesting to builders? For several reasons. One is they want to perhaps create bundle strategies or themed strategies. For example, buy DeFi themed tokens on Linea or buy gaming themed tokens on Linea, and they want to create bundles for that. The second use case is let's say that you follow a trader or a popular person that you've seen do well with investing in tokens or trading tokens, and you've been following them and you've been getting education from them on some kind of social media, or Twitter or whatnot, or podcaster, and you want to copy what they have in your wallet. So you can recreate somebody's wallet and have the exact proportionality of tokens via this token bundler contract.
wild. Okay, very cool. So there's like a really strong like personal use case for being safe and secure, but also like from a builder perspective of I guess, whatever project they might be working on. If they care about strong UX or, like, automating some things, like I think the cadence thing was a really interesting thing that you put out that I hadn't thought of, like, repetitive tasks, on this as a mechanism to do that. So, yes. Okay, cool. We are at time. I'm so sorry for, like, I guess, going over. Is there anything else you wanna say? Otherwise, I will release you from this
Well,
this
first of
stream.
all, I want to say thank you, Emily. You've been great and gracious for inviting me and allowing me to speak to the community. But what we'll leave off at is, we have a lot of work to do. We're a young team, small team. We're just at the beginning of our building journey ourselves, and we want to hear from you guys who are listening, who have thoughts on what you want to see built, and what you need help with. Which is why I think it's a great opportunity to join our builder program, which is the one, the link I shared with our docs. But is it possible to leave them off on that link?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I
I
flashed it
could do
up
in
on the
private chat.
screen, but I can also send it out afterwards. Um,
Yeah. We want to hear from you guys. We want to learn, like, get your feedback and improve ourselves. So
yeah,
looking forward to hearing from everyone. And thank you, Emily.
awesome. Okay, cool. Well, see you around. I'm so excited. Oh, I guess last piece, we are running our May Dev Cook-Off right now on Linea. So what that is a monthly hackathon, of which one of them is we want to see what shortcuts people are building. So
Oh,
also don't
that's
forget
awesome.
that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, building a shortcut with Linea qualifies you for a piece of the one ETH prize pool. So hint, hint, nudge, nudge. This is a super easy way to get into
That's
submissions.
awesome.
Cool.
That's
So thank you so much.